Cuspers, welcome back to Deep Heights. My name is Deborah. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you're well. I wasn't going to do any readings until tomorrow, but I felt compelled and called to do one tonight. So here I am. We're going to start with an animal energy. Show me who's with my Cusper. Who's with you, Cusper? Who's with my Cusper? Already getting itchy. Who's with my Cusper? The Vulture. Pain. Difficulty. But the Vulture gets it done. You know, the Vulture does, they eat, you know, they eat all of the bones, and they're cleaners. They're death cleaners. Doing what's necessary, the dirty jobs. It's funny, I just watched Dirty Harry today, which is so fantastic. It's good to laugh through the difficulty as well. You don't like the situation that you're in, not at all. You're not happy about it. But you have to find ways to deal with it. And Vulture can help you to do that. Let's get another one. I always think about like the purple that's around this bird. I think of a bruise. But you know, purple is also royal. Ooh, I have my windows are open and the lights are on, so the bugs are attracted. Dignity, maintaining your dignity while you're having to do something that it isn't a nice thing that you're having to do. What you're dealing with isn't comfortable or dinner table conversation. You know, I'm not here for dinner table conversation. You know, talk about real things, real difficulties, real challenges, and how we get through them. Who else is with my Cusper? The crow. Interesting. And the bee. You know, making honey out of that shit. Right? But you also have the crow. I'm thinking of just the movie about justice, revenge, something taken from you. Something was taken from you unjustly, and you're having to deal with the situation. You know, no matter what that is, it's not about my experiences, but sometimes life deals us a really shitty hand, and we're left to clean up the mess. You know, we lose everything we worked for, we hoped for, it's gone. You know, and having to rebuild. And behind the bee is the elephant, which I love elephant energy because it's sheer force and power of will, of getting it done, that nothing can stand in your way. But bee energy is attracted to beautiful things and beautiful flowers. Bees are happy, but they have a stinger. Okay. I'm going to use the Spirit Song Tarot. I definitely feel like you're in the dark with the vulture and the crow. And it's difficult, you know, if you're a bee and you're attracted to the colors of the flowers and you need the flowers to grow, to create your sustenance. How do you do that in the dark? How do you make honey in the dark? Where the grasses are dead and dying and the land is barren. How do you survive? how are you going to survive? Show me what's going on with my cusper, please. The Ace of Swords and the Nine of Swords. I'm going to get one more. The Three of Swords. Wow. A lot of pain. The Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Duty is heavier than a mountain. Ace of Swords, Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. You're so... This Ace of Swords acts as like a conduit for your pain and anxiety. That you're aware of your situation fully. That you're not ignorant of your own destitution and the seriousness of your situation. It's amplified. The Ace of Swords is amplifying it. But it's also a tool that you must use it as a tool to cut away what's no longer useful. Like this sword is kind of like the vulture, where if it's not removing it and cutting it, it's eating it. Even though that sounds really weird and gross and morbid, that you like eat the pain, you know, because even crows are carrion birds. It's been war, you know. Your world is a battlefield, you know, bodies everywhere, blood, death, decay. Serious. You know, and you're devastated. What do you do now? Where do you go? How do you get through it? The key words on this Ace of Swords are mental clarity and foundation. You know, fear is the mind killer. Beautiful. I reread Dune several weeks ago, and it's so fantastic. So much of that book is quotable. If you have never read Dune, I definitely suggest reading Dune. The swords in this deck are feathers. And I quoted before, the duty is heavier than a mountain, but it's that death was lighter than a feather, and duty is heavier than a mountain. Are you going to give up? You're going to give in? You want to clock out? Don't do that. Dig in. You know, dig into whatever it is. With the Three of Swords, with the crow, I was talking about the movie The Crow, where he says it can't rain all the time. That these are passages through life. You know, rites of passage. We've all gone through them. I mean, it isn't easy. It isn't supposed to be easy. You know, but somehow you've got to make the honey. You have it within you, this willingness to work, this willingness to cooperate, to go out and search for the flowers. You know, you need to find flowers in the dark. That's what I'm going to name this reading. Let's get some clarifiers here on this Nine of Swords and Three of Swords. A lot of pain. It's I can feel that, and I'm familiar with that. You know, and each experience that I have, or that I've gone through, that I've had to just remake myself and rebuild and find it and dig deep, you know, and eat crow. You know, it's not a fun process. I continue to go through them. I'm in the arena too. I think it's important, and people who watch my channel and I think feel like I do, you know, alone, you know, but you're not alone if you know where to look, you know, within, to nature, listening. The Ace of Cups, that's what I'm talking about. And Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. The D.H. Lawrence poem, Baby Tortoise. Read that. Baby Tortoise from D.H. Lawrence. My way is my own alone. I love D.H. Lawrence. That's from, anyway. Emotional cleanliness, sanity, emotional sanity. You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Newness. It's difficult. It's scary. You're carrying you don't have a home. Boy, don't I know that feeling. But you don't have a home. But what is a home? Is it a person? Is it a feeling? Is it your body? Yes, it's your body. I think, now that I said that, your home is your body. You are your home. This is a card about happiness, and the keywords on this card are happiness and abundance. But you're denying it to yourself. The Eight of Swords. You're avoiding it. You're avoiding the truth. You're avoiding the work. You're hiding. You know, think about mice. You know, they live in the walls of the home, right? You're hiding in the walls. You're hiding in the dark. Scurrying about, you know, burrowing. You don't want to come out of that hole. You don't want to see the devastation. You don't want to see the ruin. I don't blame you. None of us want to see that. Keyword here on this card are courage and solutions. Having the courage to look, the courage to see, to find the solutions. And I really think that I don't think that anyone's coming to save you this time. That you have to do it yourself this time. And that's the hardest one of all. Where you have to pick yourself up. And you have to walk forward, and there's no one cheering you on. There's no Six of Wands parade for you. It's a dirty job. Other people don't like to see it. Why do you think the news is what it is? Like the most important, you know, are really important news stories, you know, human trafficking, child abuse. No one wants to see those stories because they're too difficult to see. No one, I like when I talk about things or try to talk to others. No one really, I'm like, who cares about my life and my problems or the difficulties that I've been? It's like people can hear it, but they don't really care, you know, or they don't want to hear the darkest parts. You feel alone because no one else wants to hear the darkest parts. Well, welcome to Deep Heights, where all of the darkest parts are laid out, seen, witnessed. Queen of Pentacles. Working, nurturing, loving nature, spending time in nature. Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. There's that little bee again. Work. Something about work. You need to have a hobby. Whatever, if you're not working because you've been depressed and sad and it's been difficult and, you know, you're not able to mentally deal with the responsibility of work and the world, I get it. I totally get it. Oh, and justice is below the Three of Pentacles. But finding a hobby, being creative, creating something, whatever it is you do, anything, finding new. Sometimes I just like look at Pinterest and find inspiration, whatever, of beautiful things, beautiful pictures, things I want to make and do, but something that gets your creative juices moving and out of your funk. Yeah, and there's the crow on this justice card. Truth and clarity. But truth is elusive. It must come upon you. And for that, you need clarity. Well, not clarity, but sanity, cleanliness, purity, the courage to see the truth, to feel the truth. People, I've said before, people talk about like dark night of the soul. It's not just a one night. It's not a one night stand with the darkness. It's a whole relationship. Get comfortable with that. Embrace that. One of the teachers who I admire most presently is Michael Tsarian. And when I found his work several years ago, he talked about the legitimate anxiety and neurotic anxiety, and to embrace that, this Nine of Swords energy and this Three of Swords when I was completely at a loss in hell. And how do I get out of hell? My path is not, it's mine and the things that I did, but I read, I watched podcasts, I listened to other teachers and people who I admired, strength and courage, tenacity, that I wouldn't give up on myself. I would never sell my soul. I would never want to clock out because I valued my life. I valued my soul and my spirit. And it's difficult. I don't know how to impart that to you. It's not, I can't. No one can impart it to me. But, where I find inspiration might not be where you find inspiration. Okay. But I see you having a really difficult time. And I guess I've been babbling and rambling because I want to encourage you, and let you know that keep going. That you have to find it yourself. There is no quick fix. Not here, not at Deep Heights. You have to do the work. The shit work. That's hard to digest. You have to find flowers in the dark. So 2 cards have come out. Youthful folly and conflict. That's interesting. Poor choices in the past have, led to a lot of turmoil. On youthful folly, it says logic protects us from misfortune. This ace of swords that you have down here, the ability to think logically, that you kind of have to go back to where it started. There, in one of C.S. Lewis's books, I think it's The Great Divorce, in the introduction, he's talking about evil and the choices that we make in our lives, that we have to go back to where we kind of went wrong and try and correct it from there. That it can't be solved, like evil or whatever that we brought on ourselves, this conflict that you find yourself in. Evil that we participate in through our choices, but we're supposed to learn. That's the point. We make mistakes so we can learn, and going back psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and reviewing, not reliving, okay, but reviewing and forgiving yourself and learning, but going back to that point where things got skewed and recognizing it and releasing it could help bring you a lot of healing. On this conflict, we have it's feeling, emoting, and sensitivity. Saying you're very raw, like a bruise. You're very sensitive. I think you're more sensitive than most people. You feel things more. You hear a lot. You see a lot. Everything is very bright, overwhelming. The most grounded path is based on logic, talking about how do you move forward with clear thinking, not being clouded, not, sobriety, being sober so you can think clearly, taking vitamins, eating well to replenish, your brain and your body, your nervous system, healing. What's your advice to my cusper? What's your advice to my cusper? I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I feel like someone needs it. That I want to tell you that you need to be honest with yourself, to yourself, and accept responsibility for your life and for your choices. And to avoid conflict in the future, you're going to have to do some things. This is about responsibility as well. There's that old fairy tale, the grasshopper and the ant. I think that's the one where the grasshopper plays all summer and he's out with his little fiddle, and the ant is, busy and collecting food for the winter, and then the grasshopper finds himself with nothing and goes knocking on the door of the ant. Let me in, I need help. You've got to put away, you've got to grow up a little, mature a little, be more responsible. I hate to feel like I'm fussing at you, and I'm sorry if it comes across that way, but I promise you that it's coming from a place of genuine care and concern. And some parts of me, in my own life, I wish someone would have done this for me. And indeed they did. Like Michael Tsarian, even though he doesn't know who I am or anything, but that's how it felt. Okay. The Death card in reverse. Eight of Cups reversed. One more, please. Four of Swords. there are things that have stuck with me, things that I've read, lines that I read, and one that comes to mind, looking at these three cards, is from T.S. Eliot in the Four Quartets, and that's, I said to my soul, be still and let the darkness come upon you. You've been avoiding, the death card is a scorpionic energy of Pluto, upheaval, change, but it's also about truth, because when he's upright, he's kind of like the vulture. He's stripped everything away. He's just whirling through his energy, through that underworld, striking everything, cutting everything away. That's poison, polluted, false. Even his own self, his own self. Well, thank Michael Tessarian for a lot of the quotes that I know, and poems, but it's the Phoenix from D.H. Lawrence. Are you willing to be made nothing, erased, sponged out, canceled, dipped into oblivion? Are you willing to be made nothing? If not, you will never really change. That's not exactly how it goes, but it's something like that. That you have to, and the Eight of Cups is reversed here. Oh, well, I'm going to keep that over here. But don't run away from it. Be still and let the darkness come upon you. Meditation, calm, health. Four of Swords, card about health, about cleanliness, purity of the body, speech that you ingest. I need to be clean. Devil reversed. Breaking free of addictions. But addictions are also ways of thinking. Avoidance. Fantasy, addiction to fantasy. Fantasy can be good, can be great. But also, it can be avoidance of reality. Six of Swords. Two of Cups reversed on the bottom of the deck. Opening up. There's that cross. Death. Not literal, but letting what's old and decayed, sick, die away. Opening up. Surrender as well. Your heart needs to break open. Two of Cups reversed. A closed heart chakra. Wounded. We have this Three of Swords. You're wounded. Some time ago, a friend of mine we were talking about pain, and it was a physical pain I have. And was seeing a physical therapist, and I do body work, and I was seeing another body worker, and I was like, I would really like to not be in pain. He's like, well, what if the pain doesn't go away? What are you going to do? Well, it's not going to stop me. I'm still going to do what I do. I'm just going to be uncomfortable and in pain while I'm doing it. And it goes for spiritual pain as well. That it's okay if it stops you for a little while. That you need rest and recovery. but you must go on. That you must open up. That you must be still and let the darkness come upon you. So you can get through the other side. Break through the other side of yourself to find those flowers. One more wants to come out of this deck. The Princess of Swords. The Nine of Wands. Resilience, strength, stamina, determination, dominion, sovereignty. That you're not going to let anything. I love this card. Like, this is one of my favorite cards in the Thoth deck. Because it's like she's protecting her soul and her spirit and her clarity against a storm. That something has come, this wind, this great storm has come, and she's there poised with her sword. You had the Ace of Swords at the beginning. No, you're not coming. I won't be broken. I won't be defeated. Eight of Wands below the Nine of Wands. Ninth house energy. Learning, reading. I've been doing a lot of talking about books and poetry and quoting. I mean, those are the things that I love, but that's where I learn. And I love to learn and listen to others share their knowledge, you know. I always would want to encourage others to do that as well. It's being lost. So many people they're not reading. We lose ourselves if we lose history. Stay strong. Fight it. Fight. Fight to the death. You've been avoiding the fight. But it's the biggest fight of all. It's the fight for your life, the fight for your soul. Don't succumb to the darkness. If you can't find flowers in the dark, be a flower in the dark. The Green Witch Oracle. I like this little deck, this little oracle deck. Transition. 11. Justice. Also the 11th house of Aquarius. Growth is never comfortable, you know. And that's what you're doing. You're growing. And it's difficult. It's damn fucking shitty difficult. Let's pick one more from this deck. You know, thinking about that youthful folly. When I was a little girl, I was such a picky eater. I wouldn't eat cauliflower. I think the first time I ever tasted cauliflower, I was like 12 or 13. I wouldn't eat it, and it was covered in cheese the first time I ate it, you know. But trying new things. Health, I feel like, is really important. Your diet, I feel like, is really important right now. I think that it could be good maybe to try vegan. And if it's too difficult to go vegan, at least go vegetarian and try to eat as many raw vegetables as you can. If you can't give up meat, you know, try something for 30 days. If you can't go 30 days, try 7. You know, a start. But detoxing your body is going to help give you the strength. Because, you know, if you have it in your mind, but your body is unhealthy and heavy and weighed down and toxic, you know, take care of yourself, your home included, your body. One more, please. I hope that the volume has been adequate. One more, please. Unless we're done. You know, desire. Grounding on the bottom of the deck. There's the 3. For some reason, I'm thinking about the 3 of Cups. That you really want happiness and friendship, reunion with friends and family, shared, rejoicing. That this isn't a lusty desire. This is a wholesome desire. Potato, the grounding. I like that. Your heart is pure, I think. Your desires are pure. We've all made bad choices. Let's not get into mine. I'm not anybody perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, look, strength behind the grounding. There's that sword, that Ace of Swords. The sword is a symbol I think you could meditate on. I don't know, maybe you should look it up, researching old samurai swords and how they were made and why they were made and the symbolism. The number on the strength is 19, the sun. The sun will come out. It will shine again in your world. But you have to go through the cycles. You have to ride the swings of life. The Starian's all in this reading. He talked about people wanting to live in a one-season world. The cycles of life are seasonal. Earth. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Things grow, they die. They go back into the earth and become nutrients. And then something new grows. This transition. You're underground right now. Even with this grounding with the potato. They're root vegetables. They grow underground. Oh. Sorry, cricket. He chirruped. You're underground. But your shoot will break. You'll break through. Okay. I want to get one of these. I don't remember the name of them. And then we'll close. Stabilize, the St. John's wort. Wow. And we have growth again. The fern. Wow, and strength again. Below that. Sorry, my lighting is so poor. It's just my laptop, so it's not the greatest camera. A lot of this growth and strength. But yeah, okay, so the stabilize, the St. John's wort. It's a mood stabilizer. You can get it in capsule form. I've tried taking this and I don't respond well to it, but I know a lot of other people who do take it and it's helped them. But needing to stabilize, needing to balance, possible. But where's the Four of Swords? Yeah. Jupiter in Libra. Expansion of balance. All right. Well, what were the other two? Sorry, y'all, now I have so many cards down here. All right, well, it must not be important. It was growth. What was the fern? Oh, here we go. And strength. Yeah. The growth and the strength. Which is fern and bearberry. Sorry, I didn't mean to get lost there. Okay, let's close. Final words of encouragement for my cusper. Whew. Death and teaching. This tree, this is like the third reading in a row that the tree has made itself known. But the name of the card with the tree is teaching. Teaching you how to grow, learning from nature. This looks like an oak in winter. There are no leaves on this tree. And we learn through death. We learn that we are reborn. We have many types of deaths throughout our life. And the last one that we experience is merely just another one. And we go on to experience more. Take courage, Cusper. I hope that this has helped you.